Hi, my name's AudreyGale and I make art. Today I'm going to be trying out my new printer, which is a Canon Pixma Pro 200. I wanted to get something that wasn't the absolute highest tier of printer because I don't need all that. But what I do want it for is making prints of my own artwork so that I can sell them at different craft shows and online. It's really important that you get the correct paper for the printer. I purchased Red River Paper's sample, the Fine Art Photography and Discovery Kit, and I'm gonna be printing a sample of each paper provided of the same image to see which one works the best. I wanna make sure that these prints are as close to the real thing as I can get, and I wanna make sure that it really keeps that vibrancy, keeps the colors. I've tried some other paper products before and they really dulled down the paints and the colors, and I really want it to still have that pop of the original. I'm going to be making prints of my original Basset Hound painting. This is a 22 by 28 inch original painting on canvas that I painted a few years back with acrylic paints. Okay, so first up we have the AudreyGale+Art Natural 300, and it seems pretty matte, pretty thick as well, not too flimsy. I mean, just from the feel of this paper, I really do like, I would really like my prints to come out. So I'm really hopeful that this one will work. So this is the same paper. It's a AudreyGale+Art White 300. So it's the same exact feel, thickness as the other one, but just a whiter background, which might actually work better for me. I tend to like a whiter instead of a warm tone. Palo Duro Smooth Rag 310. This one feels a bit flimsier than the other ones, but still a nice finish. I don't want anything too glossy to make it look like a photograph. You know, sometimes the mattes can really dull it down. The glossy just tends to turn out better color-wise, vibrancy-wise. This one is Palo Duro Burita Fiber 300. This one, a little bit flimsier than the first two, and there's a little bit more sheen to it as well. So I'll be interested to see how that works out. This one is Big Ben Burita 310. This one feels like more of a traditional, like satin photo paper. I'm sure the colors will turn out well here, but I don't know if I like that sheen. We'll see. It's not too glossy though. Lastly, we have the Palo Duro Soft Gloss Rag. This one's kind of smooth feeling as well. Not a lot of texture there. A little bit of a sheen, but not too much. And the thickness is nice as well. Not too thick, not too flimsy. Alright guys, so all of the samples have been printed, and now it's time to figure out which is going to be the best for my specific art prints. These two are more matte options. This is the AudreyGale+Art Natural and White. So same exact paper, just kind of different coloring. There is just a slight difference, I would say, in coloring between the natural and the white. There is a little bit more white here, which I would prefer. Moving on, we have the Palo Duro, which I do think that like some of the browns, particularly like in this area on each side, there's more of a vibrancy here, more exact to the original, which I like, while still having that like matte finish. Here's my dilemma though. As we move down the aisle, you're gonna get more into your glossy finishes or your semi-satin finishes. If you can see, I mean, obviously the vibrancy of our glassy and semi-satin far exceed that can be offered by your more matte finishes. And while I don't want to have like a photo paper, I do wonder if there is a nice even ground, a middle ground that I can find that still shows off the colors without it feeling like I just printed it off photo paper, essentially, which that's what it is, but not like your typical super sheen finishes that you would see like if you were to go to CVS or Walmart and get your photos made. This is clearly a better quality, so I think ultimately I'll have to go with one of these more sheen options. So what we have here is the Palo Duro. This, see, kind of catches the light there like a glossy would. Not quite as flimsy as your typical photo paper, so that's nice. What we have here is the Big Ben Bariata 310, I believe. This also catches the light. I think this is more typical of your photo paper. And as far as colors go, I mean, pretty similar, I would say. Maybe a little more vibrant on this one. And then this is our last one, the Palo Duro Soft Gloss Rag. And this is automatically a bit lighter than these two, but not in a bad way. I think this print is more true to the color of the original. And as we pick it up, there is some gloss to it. It does catch a light. And it is not quite as flimsy. This has the more of a feel of a matte than these two do. I think ultimately, based off of just the overall feel, the vibrancy, how the colors come out, I do think that this one is probably going to be what I ultimately choose for my art prints. I just can't see compromising. I can't see compromising the quality of how the colors turn out just because I want a matte paper. Because, I mean, let's just look at the difference between our more glossy versus our matte. I mean, there's just really no contest there. Ultimately, I do think between all of my choices from this sample pack that this one, the Palo Duro Soft Gloss Rag, is a nice even ground between a matte feel of the paper. It feels like an art print that you might get from a craft show or a boutique, but it doesn't sacrifice the colors like a matte does. Not too shimmery, not too glossy, just a little shine though. And I'm fine with that if that means that I get to keep the boldness of the colors. I do want to point out something. While the Canon Pixma Pro 200 is an excellent printer for me, and just for someone who's looking to kind of get into the art print community, trying to get into the art print space, and for someone who just wants to print their photos from home at a really high quality. The printer is only as good as the paper that you put in it. So you might have this great photo, like professionally shot, edited, and if you put it on the wrong paper, it's just not gonna be as good as the original. It's not gonna be as good as you intended it to be. And this is a great example. Just to compare, I mean, this is a piece of cardstock that I just had in my house, and I thought, well, let's just see what it looks like. Clearly, there's a difference. These both came from the same printer, of course. Still a lot of detail in there versus like your regular inkjet printer, but it just doesn't hold a candle. And this is why it's so important to go with either Red River like I did, Canon, Epson, and there's a lot of great videos on YouTube that help you and help me decipher what's going to be best for me. And it's certainly not this. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be leaving the link for both the printer and the sample paper pack below if you're interested in looking for a new printer or interested in finding new paper for your art prints or your photography. I definitely recommend the Red River Paper Company just because, one, they just have a great reputation in the fine art and photography print space, and they offer awesome, affordable sample packs of paper for you to try at home before you make a bigger investment and purchase a pack. And this is what I wanted to use them for. If you have any suggestions or comments, definitely leave them down below. Anything you want to see next. And thanks for tuning in.